All right, so I will ask. I know there's a lot of content to cover, so I will try and move through this because I know there were some areas specifically with website conversions that wanted some attention. So I will cover this, and if you have questions, write them down so that we can, when we get into the questions section, we can then cover those because I'd like to cover some of this content with you all, and hopefully you can take some benefit from it. So number one thing that we look at when it comes to our websites, and I will share some screens with you guys on with everybody here, all the folks here on websites I looked at and some of the things we can improve. So one thing is you have to make sure your donation button is in a prominent location in your site navigation. Okay, your donor website, your website has to be, if you're trying to raise funds specifically on your website, there has to be a prominent location, be it on one page or multiple pages or in the navigation menu bar at the top, a very clear and visible donate option. In your top carousel, so the images that are moving, there should be fundraising campaigns that are promoted, and you should also look at um, updating and making sure your website is optimizing based on the different ways people are engaging with the site. So mobile use is increasing every day. More and more people are checking out things on their phones, donating through their phones. So you want to have an optimized website for mobile, for tablets, and for different screen sizes. So I'm going to share with you a picture of a mobile version and a desktop version of a website that I looked at, and I found it to be very, very well done. Number one thing was on their main page, they have multiple, on their non-mobile, so the one on the right, they have multiple ways you can give. They have a carousel that moves at the top, and they've already moved into their Ramadan sort of campaigns. The donate button is clearly visible, but you can also make a donation right there by entering an amount. They've gone a bit advanced. So when you go to your mobile version of the site, the experience on the mobile version is different than the experience on the desktop version. So the website changes. You see the option for you to open up the menu at the top, but then there's a kind of overlay screen at the bottom where if you wanted to donate specific things, you can engage regardless of which page you land on. I also found from some of the people that are attending the training. So I went on the Helping Hands website and I found clear call to actions on their website. And I found that their mobile optimization was also very clean. So you had a carousel with a quick donate option that was showing up. You have a donate now where you can engage with the content right away. Similarly with the ICNA website, ICNA Relief USA website, carousel, give your zakat locally, very clear call to action with a visible donate button. And I was playing around with their donation section with a shopping cart system that they have. You can add multiple donations. But then if you look at the mobile experience, you find that the website, majority of it website is mobile optimized, but you see here that the carousels are not changing or not really updating with the rest of the website. So it's shrinking this here into a full size view. So this is something new, website strategies and things are suggesting that you should do something like these where the image shrinks as you are using it on mobile. Just like here, you're finding on the main, you're seeing a certain part of the image, but on the mobile, you're seeing a more shrunk or more visible face and so on. It's not trying to fit the entire thing onto your phone screen. Okay, and then I looked at um, some that could improve and that could become better at optimizing on mobile. So Smile has a very clean call to action on their um, on their website if you go on the desktop view. But if you go to mobile view, there is a need for strengthening and bettering the mobile experience because you find it's taking the whole website and shrinking it onto your phone screen, and your developers can update the plugins depending on what you've built your website on. But you have to, as organizations, look at if over 50% of traffic to your site is coming through mobile. You don't want to have a experience that they're going to have to pinch and zoom and scroll left to right and figure things out. So everybody should take some time and look at their websites and see if they're optimized for website viewing. How to improve the donation process. Now, actually, before we go there, yeah,
Can you just tell us what was the website for the one that Ramadan inspires change? Just what organization? Yeah.
this one,
Yes.
this is Penny Appeal,
Many of it. Okay, thanks.
but multiple organizations have good ones. I only picked one, but there's so many good ones, and it all comes down to really making sure it's mobile optimized. So you want to be able to have a different experience or even an experience that is visible. Like Smile's work and Smile's ranking on the desktop is extremely high because they've done a really nice site for people to engage from a desktop perspective. But now with mobile, it needs a few updates and plugin changes potentially to bring it up to mobile friendliness. All right, so donation page changes. Your donation pages should also be mobile responsive. I found with some of the websites I went to on desktop, very clean, easy to access, go through step by step. But then on mobile, it's the same website, donation form shrunk. So you have to zoom in, you have to click on the different tabs. So you want to make sure your donation pages are also mobile responsive. You want to use clear headlines, value propositions, and images, same as emails. You want to do that on your donation, on your websites and your donation pages. And your overall message on other platforms should match your donation page. This is something, there has to be that congruency, and the messaging needs to be the same. So if I'm reading a post and I like what I read and it says here, click here to engage, and I click on that, it should be taking me to the page where the message is continuing forward. It shouldn't be taking me to something completely different. Now I have to figure out where to go. And your website needs to have good photos so it helps move the needle on the donations. The trends that are happening with some of the donation pages, and I'll show you some examples, are to move to a more clutter-free, clean, multi-step, and also mobile responsive page. So here's an example that I found for Oxfam, where very clean. And if you go to mobile, the way they've built this, if you shrink it down to mobile, it also shows very clean like this. You see it, you could do one time or monthly, pick an amount, fill it out. Charity Water is another one where the website is built in a way where you have imagery and you can choose an amount. Many of the things here you see, you're thinking, well, I don't have donor info, I don't have anything. But as soon as you hit donate, this is where the multi-step comes in. It takes you now to the next section. And now you know that there's a donor interested in giving 100. And if they jump off or they come off the website, through cookie capturing and remarketing and stuff, you can probably re-engage. And we're going to talk about some of those steps. But having a clean donation form experience is critical. I also pulled up an example from a large charity in our country, in Canada, United Way, and I found that their donation, yes, it's mobile optimized, but the experience looks a little bit older and a bit harder. So when I would see a page like this, I would right away wonder, do I need to, what is it linked to? It's not really driving any emotion. I have to click on a different button to go to the recurring donation or monthly donation. So this is something that we can look at improving. All right. And when we talk about specifically the website improvement, and I'll get into it when we talk about search engine optimization, one of the things we have to also look at is putting our website through tools that Google and other platforms are providing that'll tell you how do you make your website better? What are the slowdowns? What are the areas that are causing your website to have less traffic or slower traffic or higher bounce rates? And you can improve on those. So I'm going to play a video. I know there's sound issues for some, but we're going to play it anyways. We're going to move on. If you're having technical difficulties hearing it, no problem. I'll share these slides with Nargis that can she can share them with you all to watch it again. So search engine optimization for a lot of us is a confusing area. It's unclear what does that even mean. So there's a short video that'll break it down for everybody, and then I will give some tips on that. चलो जाओ आप ठहरो मैं उनसे All right. So for those of you who heard the audio, um, SEO is a search engine optimization. It is constant art. You have to continuously be doing it. It's not a one-time thing. You have to have teams that are always looking at your website and finding ways to improve it. And one of the most important things is making sure that your site is updated on a regular basis. So you are putting fresh content out. And examples here, for example, CCMW, if you are producing content that is relevant to the readers, putting that out there and sharing it on different platforms, having other websites share it, and linking back to your site will increase the popularity of those things, or those articles, or those that content to bring people to your website. The group from I think it was called Black Canadian Muslims. If you are writing specifically on social justice or topics, having other websites host your content, linking to content from subject matter experts. So there's multiple backlinks happening to different areas will slowly build your ranking. You're not going to get into the first page rankings on a topic where you might have just created a brand new page. It's going to take time. It's going to take years maybe to move into first, second, third page. And that is where you find a lot of organizations getting into the paid keyword searches. And when we talk about paid advertising, we're going to look at that. Speeding up your website. Google Page Speed Insights is a tool that I highly recommend. And I want one volunteer here to give me their website URL.
myvoicecanada.com.
My Voice Canada. So myvoicecanada.com.
Yep.
All right, everyone, we're all gonna, I don't know if you can see my screen actually. Hold on. Google Chrome, share. You can see my Google Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's right now it's analyzing myvoicecanada.com. So a tool like this will help you understand what are some areas that you're doing really well in, and what are things that Google is seeing that you need to improve on, and it's going to give you those recommendations. So there's two score sections, mobile and desktop. So right now it's giving you a score on your mobile view, and for desktop it's giving you a much higher score. And you can look at then the breakdown of areas that need improvement. So they list out some opportunities. Number one, reducing the initial server response time. So this is with your developers. You can say our initial response time is too slow. It's taking way too long for the person to engage with the content right away. 2.5 seconds before they start to see something on desktop. Whereas mobile, it's taking even longer. Server images are not next gen formats. So this is a great tool that will help you look at what are some low hanging fruits that we can fix right away. So there are pages that are sitting in your directory of pages that are not being used. So just occupying space. They're probably idle pages. You can remove some of those pages and it'll help speed up the page, number one. And number two, it'll increase the ranking of your site. So there's a lot of great advantages. It also tells you areas you did well in. So images are properly sized. You have a very minimal CSS. You have good JavaScript. Your coding of images is good. So, different things can be broken down. So I highly recommend for those that have technical teams working on their websites to always keep coming back and looking at how can we keep increasing our score, and put targets for yourself that are not, in the sky. If you're scoring low, getting this to just the second category. So your target becomes, for mobile, we want to bring ourselves to the 50, 60, 70% over time, but work on some of these changes. So, um, the technical teams will know exactly what they have to do, and it'll walk you through them. It'll give you some ideas of what you need to consider doing, how you can improve, and what you can do. So it even gives you some of the images that are causing slowdowns. So it's a great tool because Google is a platform we're all using. We're all trying to make sure that users can find us. So this is one tool I would recommend all of you to use for your teams.
Can you put
Google Page Speed Insights.
just page speed insight?
If you go to Google and write Page Speed Insights, that's the first link. Google always ranks itself high, obviously. All right, so that's one tip. Number two, PowerPoint. Okay, the link building. So many of us we put up content on our site, but we don't link to other websites. We don't link to other services. It's highly encouraged if you have mutual organizations that you work with. in organizations you have partnerships with, or if you're writing content that is pulling information from other sources, that you are building links to those areas. So if you're writing a piece on the inequalities in the workforce, or the pay grades that are different for men versus women, and if CCMW, let's say, is doing that piece, what can you do? Can you link with PayScale, for example, or find someone from there who's giving you some information on the disparity there? Can you link with other organizations that have done research on these things? So that way, the link building will bring traffic back to you, and Google will start to help increase your ranking to say that they have built outbound links, but you can also do inbound links. So linking within your own site. You might be talking about your zakat page in Ramadan. Give us your zakat. So you might have in the text, learn more about zakat. And when you click that, it's taking you to another part of your site that is more content driven on the explanation of what zakat might be, or give to this cause, learn more about how we do our projects, and then links to another page. So internal link building as well as outbound link building is very, very critical. And then you want to build your social media presence. So getting content out from your website on social media is important because they will be seen as links. So if a person clicks from Facebook, then they come to your site. Google is going to look at that as an external source, or a referral that's coming into your site. So it's always important to post it on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, pieces that will bring traffic to your website. Okay, analytics. I was going to spend some time, actually quite a bit of time, on analytics and do a deep dive and dig into analytics with people. But before I do that, how many of you here have Google Analytics or some other form of analytics built into the back end of your website?
Our person who manages the website does have this, but only added recently.
Okay. Others here using Google Analytics?
Yeah, I have heard about analytics, but I didn't use it. So,
Okay. All right. The reason it's important to know analytics, it's a good understanding of how are people engaging and how are people coming to your site. Okay, it helps you understand your visitors. It's going to give you a better approach on how to focus your content. It helps with site search engine optimization as well, because you now know what links are bringing in traffic, and it helps with your referral programs, and it's great for e-commerce metric tracking. So e-commerce, obviously anything online, donations. I'm going to share a piece of information that I have put together on the analytics from, let me just go to it here. Stop. We'll make it quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but I will show you the importance of something like it and why it's good to have. All right, so I'm sharing a short piece of analytics with everyone here from a time frame of April 1st to June 1st, 2020. I can see here based on, and I'm looking at specifically just the acquisition component. So it helps me see, of the 74,000 users that came to the site during that period of time, what brought the traffic into our website. So direct, 24,000, display ads, 27,000, paid searches, this much, social, this much, email, this much, organic. But you can go even deeper if you wanted to understand your audience. For example, you can look at how is your audience engaging with your content during that time. How many of them were new users? How many sessions occurred? Which countries are they coming from? Where and how many are you targeting? Are they coming from the right cities? So this way it'll help to see the efforts that you're doing on your social media, on your Facebooks, Instagrams, your emails. Are they actually resulting in the right type of people coming to your site? It also helps you look at breakdowns of session times. The lower the bounce rate, the better. So display ads, highest number of traffic. Direct, we find the bounce rate is low. So people who are coming directly to the site during that time are having a longer time on our site and engaging with more content. Organic searches, people who are trying to find us, best drop off rate. So they're having only 43% drop rate. So knowing these things, you can then invest in the right sources, right areas to get more returns for your dollar that you invest. So some of these tools like display ads, paid searches, and referrals sometimes will cost you money, but you can then see the value of return for your advertising campaigns that you run. You can also see behavior. So why do um, guesswork when you can look at a time frame? This I picked the time frame that's just a little bit before Ramadan, a little bit after Ramadan, and then did I run my campaign right to know was the traffic all coming to the page I wanted? So building the right landing pages and bringing traffic to the right areas of your site is critical. Most campaigns, most ads, what people do is they'll run the ad and they'll have the traffic come to the homepage. And once it comes to the homepage, it's very different than what the ad might have been. It might have been an ad saying donate to our women empowerment campaign, but then when you click it, it's coming to your homepage. And now they got to navigate and figure things out and they drop off. Whereas this time, the campaign we ran was Ramadan specific. All the ads were for Ramadan. So the traffic was all being led to that page. Then we ran separate ads and separate campaigns to bring traffic to the homepage and bring traffic to the Fitra page, bring traffic to the Zakat page. It is critical that the traffic or the link that you put is linking to the right page so the users are engaging with the content that they wanted to engage with. So analytics are very helpful in understanding the audience, your acquisition channels, what is working, what is not working. And any website person who's building your website, you should be asking them to help you set up analytics so you can then go back and refer to um, this data and compare it with, I think I shared the wrong screen here. Share screen, PowerPoint. All right, so we didn't do a deep dive. Now, social media, I'm gonna cover this quickly since most of you mentioned you have a good understanding of it. But different platforms should be used for different things. Facebook is, if you were to ask me out of these six, which one should I focus on the most? Facebook obviously has the most um, users right now. It also has, worldwide a good engagement, and their algorithms always keep changing, and they keep adding new tools. Like their videos are starting to become more popular now, auto loading videos and so on and so forth. So Facebook, it's great for connecting with friends and family. You find older age groups, 30s and up, are still using it more frequently than the younger audiences who are more inclined towards Instagram and Snapchat. And tools that are used on Facebook, you're doing a lot less frequency. So you're posting less frequently, maybe one or two posts a day. Instagram, similar, maybe one or two posts a day. And it's more visual based. So nonprofits can share their visual media, talk about the work that they're doing, the impacts that it's having. And Twitter, you can do as many as you want. It's more of a engagement tool. So you'll find some of the best organizations that are doing it really well. They're having conversations left, right, and center. In a day, they might do 60, 70, 80 different posts because they have that sort of engagement. Snapchat, mostly for the forward thinking, trying to capture the audience while it's young, a lot of storytelling and keeping it focused on the teens and young adults. LinkedIn is an overlooked platform by a lot of charities, but it's a great platform and tool for you to prospect professional donors. And you can do great prospecting and networking when you don't have the opportunity right now to meet face to face. This is a great platform to reach out to some of your donors who might be from your premium donors category, and through their network or through their contacts, have them introduce you to some new contacts. So it's a great way to do that one on one engagement. It's also great for acquiring talent and for finding volunteers, and clearly a lot of organizations also use it for finding board members. Pinterest is not very highly used by a lot of charities, but it's great for those organizations who have images and products that they sell, it's a great platform to use for that. So here's an example I wanted to share, plan. So if you look at so I have two pictures up here. One is their overall look. So they've got it verified. They have a clear campaign picture at the top. But if you look at their imagery, you can see a consistency with how they present themselves and organization. A lot of typography. They're using graphics and design in their single user image. They're trying to bring attention, and you can see right now coming into Ramadan, they are also now focusing on Muslim audience. So, the last two posts that they've done is hijabi women, and specifically focusing on Syria. So Facebook is great when you're trying to capture the attention, great on mobile, great on desktop. You should use the tool that it gives you the opportunity to boost your posts. I wouldn't do it on all your posts. The algorithm for Facebook right now is if you have 10,000 followers, you're only getting your content in front of 10% of them, so 1,000 followers. That content does not go to everybody. It only goes to about 1,000 or so.